Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Estefania.
You are a wonderful creation of God, and that includes your soul and your body. Out of God's love for you and your love for God, you are called to treat your body with respect.
You can do this by safeguarding the dignity of your body and respecting the dignity of others.
In these lessons, you will learn about establishing personal boundaries that will empower you to protect yourself from bullying, harassment, manipulation, and abuse.
You will also learn how to communicate more effectively when someone crosses or violates your boundaries.
So, what are personal boundaries?
Personal boundaries are the guidelines, rules, or limits that we create to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for other people to behave towards us.
They define how we respond when someone passes those limits. Personal boundaries include the physical, emotional, mental, and material limits we set for what we will accept from another person in either their words or actions.
This also applies when using today's technology. We often think we're safe because there's no physical presence.
However, the same boundaries and limits apply to online relationships or when using devices such as smartphones, tablets, or even gaming consoles. Boundaries are a big part of our lives, and if someone crosses your boundaries, the outcome is rarely good.
Now, you have probably already established some boundaries of your own.
Today, we are focusing on setting personal boundaries and talking about how no one has a right to violate you or your personal boundaries. When people stand too close or invade your personal space, it can be annoying and uncomfortable. If this happens to you, you have every right to ask them to back off.
Not even boyfriends and girlfriends have the right to violate each other's personal boundaries, whether in person or online.
We are also constantly being bombarded by questionable material on videos, news, and social media, even commercials, which do not respect boundaries.
The images, behaviors, and words that persistently assail you through the media can be offensive and confusing. You may even begin to wonder exactly what is okay and what is not.
Some people will take advantage of your confusion and will try to manipulate you to get what they want.
What's even worse, you may not even know that it's happening.
Unconsciously, you may begin to let your boundaries slip and become vulnerable without even realizing it.
That's why it's important to know and to be able to separate the facts from the myths.
Two common myths are that predators only prey on young children, and predators are strangers you don't know. These myths might lead you to believe that abuse could not happen to you or to your friends.
Wrong. It can and does happen.
There are people who have little or no respect for anyone else. They will manipulate, control, coerce, and do whatever is necessary to satisfy their own selfish wants, even at the expense of the physical and emotional well-being of others. They abuse the power they have over the person and will go to great lengths to get what they want.
In fact, people with bad intentions or people willing to violate your boundaries may look very much like you and me.
An abuser or boundary violator could even be a boyfriend, girlfriend, a family friend, a teacher, a coach, a trusted mentor, police officer, or clergy member, even a parent or another relative.
So, if someone is testing your boundaries, does that make them an abuser?
No, not necessarily, but their behavior still needs to be addressed. You have every right to tell them to stop. Don't do that, or I don't like it, even if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend.
The activities that accompany this video will offer reminders on how to strengthen your boundaries, identify the warning signs, and what to do if you encounter someone who is trying to cross those boundaries or someone who needs help protecting their own boundaries.
These lessons are about information and empowerment. The more information and facts you have about sexual abuse, the more power you have to prevent it and to protect yourselves and your friends.
Now we're going to share some words I'm sure you have all heard and may already know their definitions.
But let's review them quickly to be sure we're thinking of them the same way.
Sexual assault is any unwanted sexual contact that includes threatened or actual physical force and brings fear, shame, or mental suffering to the victim. This includes fondling and other forms of molestation. Rape is forced sexual assault involving unwanted penetration of any body part by a stranger or someone you know and or trust. Date rape is forcible sexual conduct of any type between two or more people who know each other, including a boyfriend or girlfriend or a peer. Date rape drugs such as alcohol and other substances that alter the victim's consciousness to make self-defense and decision-making difficult.
Stalking is the act of willfully and repeatedly harassing a specific person in such a way that it would cause a reasonable person to fear for their safety or suffer substantial emotional distress.
Bullying is the use of force, threat, or coercion to abuse, intimidate, or aggressively dominate others. The behavior is often repeated and habitual, like doing or saying something that hurts, harms, or humiliates the victim, either physically or emotionally. Cyberbullying is a form of bullying or harassment using electronic means. Cyberbullying can include posting rumors, threats, sexual remarks, or the victim's private or personal information and pictures that are meant to cause them embarrassment or humiliation. Pornography is written, printed, or video material that contains sexually explicit content. It also includes sending nude photos of yourself, friends, classmates, boyfriends, or girlfriends, which can be legally construed as pornography. Teen sex trafficking is the act of manipulating through excessive flattery and/or praise, or forcing with threats or coercion of anyone under 18 to engage in sexual acts in exchange for anything of value, such as money, drugs, shelter, food, clothes, etc.
Whether it is in person or online, the bottom line is that you do not have to do anything with anyone if it violates your boundaries.
You have the right, the knowledge, and the power to take control of your personal space.
A safe person who truly cares about you will not try to control you and will not ask or make you do anything that upsets you or makes you feel uncomfortable.
He told me that this is what people do when they love each other.
He said he wouldn't let me play on the team if I didn't do what he wanted.
If anyone is harassing you or being abusive, keeping silent about it only helps the person trying to hurt you.
My mom told me I could tell her anything, but I met him online and thought it was out of control and she wouldn't understand.
I thought he was my friend. I couldn't talk about it because I was ashamed and embarrassed. I looked up to him.
My friend told me that she was abused, but made me promise to keep it a secret. I didn't know what to do to help.
If someone is violating your boundaries or if you are being abused, it's important to talk to someone you trust. It's good to talk to a friend, but that is not enough. It's vital that the information be shared immediately with a trusted adult.
If you see or hear of a situation that sounds abusive or is concerning to you, do the right thing.
You should immediately talk to a parent, teacher, or another adult you trust and ask for help.
Or, if a friend tells you that abuse might be happening to them, offer to go with them to talk to a trusted adult like the principal or school counselor, and maybe even the police.
Great. So does that mean you can't trust anyone?
No, not at all, but you do need to remember some very important things.
First, not everyone deserves our trust. Trust your instincts.
In these lessons, you will have an opportunity to think and talk about some potentially risky situations, and to discuss what you have learned in order to be safe and protect your boundaries.
Here is a second important thing to remember. There are people in your life who love you very much. They want you to be safe and to know how to protect yourself.
Thirdly, remember you always have the right to say no. It is your body and you have an absolute right to keep it safe at all times.
Finally, remember that if you are or have been in an abusive situation, please know that whatever happened, it is never your fault.
Remember, you are made in God's image and there is no greater love. God wants you to be safe and happy.
Respecting your body by establishing boundaries, respecting the boundaries of others, and knowing what to do if your boundaries are violated is a sure way to be safe and happy.